Right, we are live. How's it going, Meg?
Hi there. Good afternoon, everyone. Doing good today. How are you doing today, Jen?
Doing good. I have my glasses on today, so I realized that we're
We
kind of
match.
twins.
Yeah,
That's
we
fun.
match.
Yeah. So, just a reminder, my name is Jen. I own Keyheart Marketing, and I am a social media marketer, and I do marketing with Meg here with her company.
Yes, hello. I am Megan Asuria. My husband and I own Premier One Auto Care on 281 at Thousand Oaks. And Jen and we are doing this live stream 3 times a week just to connect with other business owners in the San Antonio community to help support them during this time, to bring you, as our viewers, resources during this time to stay sane and healthy, and hopefully a little bit of entertainment from time to
Yeah.
time, too.
Yeah. So today in San Antonio is the actual start of Fiesta, which is not starting. But we've been talking kind of about that a little bit, and I figured out some places that are selling chicken on a stick. So if you need to get your chicken on a stick fix, I found out that Tiago Grill over at the Rim has chicken on a stick, and so does the Dogfather and Bang Bang. I think it's called Bang Bang Bar. So those are two places I've seen that are giving chicken on a stick, and then they have some other like Fiesta, probably margaritas and mangonadas or stuff like that.
There you go. So you can get your chicken on a stick. And I think KSAT was broadcasting maybe
Some of
some
the
of the
parades,
parades, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. So you can have Fiesta in your living room.
So I also saw something that I kind of wanted to do, but I didn't. There is somebody who is creating a Fiesta parade, and you can make a float and then kind of decorate it however you want. Like you can do it with your business for Premier One, and then you put it like in a body of water, so like your pool or your bathtub, and you do a recording. And there's like specific, like you have to be a foot away, and it's like a certain time period. But yeah, so you can have your Fiesta parade, and then I think they're gonna just put them all together. It should be really cool. I'm kind of excited
That's
to
so
see that.
fun. And
I know.
everybody, I was thinking of this. Now is the time to be taking pictures and
Yeah.
capturing all of this. We talked about your journaling, but also taking pictures during this time so we can show our grandkids, right? And even our kids because they're too young to even know sometimes what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But just from our perspective. Um, and so I think that's so important too, just to make maybe an album for
Yeah.
quarantine life, how
Yeah.
things are so different.
Videos. I've been recording the kids a lot, doing all of their antics. But yeah, it's such a good reminder. We need to be documenting this in every way
Yeah.
that we can.
Yeah.
Create a big
Uh,
documentation. So that reminds me, what did you say that you did yesterday with your kids? That sounded really cool.
So yesterday we went for a walk and we found some painted rocks in the neighborhood, and I think it's the Porter family in my neighborhood that started painting rocks and scattering them throughout the neighborhood. I could be wrong, but I think it's the Porter. So shout out to y'all if you guys are watching, or if this gets back to you. Because we had a lot of fun. So my kids found those and wanted to take them all, and I told them, no, we can't take them because other people need to enjoy these rocks too. They're really cool and have flowers on them and bees and just really cute little details on them. And so we went home and we painted our own rock, not to, not we don't have the artistic ability that the Porters have. My kids are 3 and 4, but so we
Sure,
just
they
went
are
home,
perfect.
painted some rocks, put some hearts on them. They were cute, and then they got to add them to their little flower garden that they had planted with my mother-in-law before the quarantine. And so it was a really cute little addition to our little flower bed that we have going. It
That's
was fun,
awesome. So
messy, and
fun.
fun.
Yes, that's the best. That's perfect.
And we
Um,
painted them outside, so it was also a nice sunny day and just sitting out in the sunshine and painting. It was really nice.
yeah, that's awesome. It's been beautiful weather. So lucky right now.
For
Um,
real.
I think it's time that we should bring Liz in. So I'm really excited about our guest today. Liz Simpson is the owner or CEO of Stimulus, but she also has recently become very well known for her skills as a networker on LinkedIn. So I'm going to bring Liz in right now. You got three, two, one. Hello, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Please, let me move. I'm trying to fit my head in the spot.
You're there. Yay. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm happy to be here. I have a 3-year-old as well, and we've been coloring rocks. And today we did color rice. So we put the rice in a Ziploc bag with food coloring, and you put a little hand sanitizer in it and shake it up. So every day we're trying to find new things. And so we did the colored rice. We did green, yellow, blue, and red. And then we made little crafts where she put like glue in different shapes, and then you put the rice on it.
I love it. That's so fun.
A great sensory activity because the colored rice that was left over, she just was like playing in it for like an hour. So yes, I'm with you on the crafts with the toddlers.
Yes.
So,
and then it's like, what kind of stuff do I have laying around the house that I can use? And I know.
I've been collecting toilet paper rolls. I'm like, I'm going to do something with these toilet paper rolls. I was going to make bunnies out of them, but we didn't do that. So
we actually did.
So if you have extra toilet paper rolls, I'll take them.
We actually did bunny stamps with toilet paper rolls.
Yeah,
it was fun.
That's cool.
So Liz, tell us about you and Stimulist.
Yeah, so I lead a sales training organization. So basically we help digital agency owners and creatives and B2B service-based businesses leverage LinkedIn and business development skills. So I'm all about securing the bag. Like, what are we doing to consistently bring clients into the business?
Yes, very good. I have to say, I'm one of Liz's biggest fans. I attend anything that I can, any sort of training that she does, because Liz works with companies big that are way up there, and my company is obviously really new. So anything I can attend, Liz does have a lot of resources for people who are still growing their business, and I'm so grateful when she gives them out. I've been to some events that she's spoken at, or she did a big money sales training that I found so valuable and still implement to stuff that I do in my business. So I really admire Liz and what she does.
And I'm a huge fan of yours because you're a go-getter, and so the growth you've had with your business is just phenomenal. So a lot of times as entrepreneurs we talk about it, or we're inspired by ideas, or we're getting ready to get ready. And so I've just kind of watched you not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. And that just earns my utmost respect. So I'm happy to be here. However I can add value, provide resources, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you. Yeah, so I really wanted to have you on because you are, renowned on LinkedIn as being somebody who just really understands the platform and does really well on it. And I think that there's still a lot of people that, number one, don't understand that LinkedIn is not just a resume site anymore. It is actually a networking site. And it could be so valuable right now while we have extra time, even if you are still working from home. And then if you don't have a job right now, it is still a really valuable networking opportunity. So could you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So LinkedIn is the #1 site for professionals when they're looking for relevant content. So when you're talking about your business professionals, your business owners, your executives, when they're looking for a source for best practices, where to grow their skill sets, where to find timely information about what's happening in their industry, they go to LinkedIn. So it's their #1 choice. When they look at the users on LinkedIn, LinkedIn represents the top 25% of income earners in the world. So the average income of your user in the US on LinkedIn is typically about $109,000 a year. So as a business owner, depending on your service, most of my clients are offering high value services, meaning that they need someone who has enough discretionary income to afford their service. And so if you're looking for a group of professionals to do business with, that is the #1 source. I'm someone that has spent over a decade in sales. And so typically when you're working with the business, the #1 challenge is, where the hell am I going to find clients at? Like, where do I even go to find my people? How do I build relationships with the people that I want to do business with? If I'm going to spend money on marketing, where's the best place to be to maximize my marketing spend, to make sure I'm getting in front of the right people and influencing them? And so what people don't often realize is that LinkedIn is the #1 place. So with LinkedIn, for instance, typically if you advertise on other platforms, it can be very challenging to identify, am I getting in front of the right people? Am I getting in front of my ideal buyer? So with LinkedIn, you can filter everything. So I can filter everything from the industry, the company size, the revenue, job titles, what else? Countries, everything. So if I am doing business, if I know that, even if you're not B2B, if I know, for instance, that majority of people who do business with me are VPs of larger companies in this industry, I can then filter that down in LinkedIn to find those individuals. And then the other great thing about LinkedIn that doesn't exist on any other platform right now is that only 1% of users consistently use the platform. So what that means is, like, right now, if you post on Facebook, you're like, a fraction of a percentage of your network actually sees your content. And so Instagram is similar because they've grown so big, and now that they're bought out by Facebook, the algorithm's a challenge to make sure people see it. And they're also now the pay for play platform, meaning that the reason why the algorithms are designed that way is because they want you to spend money on advertising for business purposes. Well, LinkedIn has not made that shift yet. So LinkedIn rewards organic content. So it's literally the only platform where you can have such reach for free. So right now, so I've been recognized as one of 15 people in the world on LinkedIn as one of the top sales influencers. And all of that is through organic reach. That's just through providing value on a consistent basis. And because only 1% of us are doing that, there's a small fraction of us who are benefiting from that revenue windfall. That's kind of long. I'll stop there, but those are just some of the reasons why it's such a valuable platform.
Yeah. So I think that, like, if somebody were right now, they are either out of a job or needing to grow their business, or just looking to get started on LinkedIn, like, what advice do you have for somebody right when they're starting?
Yeah. So one of the first things is always positioning and strategy. Like, who are you really trying to get in front of? What are your intentions? Because there's so many people. I mean, there's 63 million decision makers on LinkedIn. There's over 90 million who are senior level influencers, meaning they influence the business decision making process. So the key is really first to identify what's the value you have and who are you trying to influence. So if I know, for instance, what I have to offer is that I have, so let's say you, Jen, right? So I provide social media marketing, which helps businesses grow, right? So I would first optimize my profile. So to your point, Jen, LinkedIn had a major shift about 2 years ago. So what's happened is some people are familiar with LinkedIn and they tinkered with it a few years ago, and then they were bored to death because it was like dry as hell, right? So then they gave up. And now everyone has it set up as a resume. Well, it's moved to more of a networking platform. So you don't want your resume to be this dry third person, like, profile. You want it to be in first person. You want it to show your personality, your personal brand, and you want it to be fluent in big money talk. And big money talk is really speaking to the outcomes that you create, right? As human beings, anytime we read something, we're selfish. We're like, what is in it for me? Why do I care? I don't give a crap about how long you've been in corporate America. Like, why do you matter to me? So when you go to optimize your profile, you want to speak big money talk, meaning like, this is what I do. Here's the value that I offer. Here's who I like to connect with. And so that would be the first step, is like revamping your profile. Then from there, you want to grow your network. So the good thing on LinkedIn is it's just like a networking party. It's just online, right? So identify the people that you want in your network and start to reach out. If you're already connected with people, start to comment, right? And just get engaged. That's where I would start.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I think we do it so naturally on our Facebook pages, just like interacting with people with things that we find interesting. And so when you move to another platform, they're all very similar in that networking idea, but it starts to be intimidating, especially because, I mean, I know and I'm not very active on LinkedIn, but sometimes I can feel very intimidated with, like, the conversation's already happening. Like, how do I jump in? But I know that is kind of what is necessary to build relationships, because that's really what it comes down to, right?
Absolutely. And keep it authentic, right? Like you don't have to force a conversation, right? If you read something and you're like, then leave it alone, right? Because just don't. But if you read something and you naturally like feel a passion or you really feel like, that's a good idea. However, this is what I've seen. Like when you truly have value to offer, that's when you engage. Like if someone just randomly comments and like it doesn't add value, I'm like, cool, that's all right. I could go without. You know what I mean? Like it's like real life. Like if we're in a networking session and someone just randomly walks up to you and says something random, you're like, okay. But like but if you show up and you're like, you know what, I heard you say that, and I really agree. I had this experience, and so that resonated with me. It's like, okay, cool. It's like the same thought pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it appropriate? Because I've seen it. I've seen it just as sharing content and best practices, right? And what companies are doing, what's relative to them these days, and what they're doing, what they're doing to pivot during these times. Is it ever appropriate on LinkedIn to sell your business? I feel like I've seen some that are not they don't hide it, right? It's a commercial for their business. Is that appropriate on LinkedIn? Because I've never thought of it that way, and I've never taken our business
So
on LinkedIn.
Me if it's ever appropriate to sell, I'm always going to say
Right. But I mean more of like, instead of sharing, content, best practices, you know, interesting content, right? Is it ever okay to do like a commercial for your business on LinkedIn?
I think the answer is yes, just how it's done, right? Even on other platforms, ads oftentimes don't seem like ads, like if that makes sense. So, I mean, even if you watch TV now, marketing has shifted, period. So anything you do needs to be current. So even typical marketing these days is more story driven, adding value, speaking to someone's pain points, right? Or something that's showing social proof or a testimonial. Like absolutely. If you have something to value and if your commercial is doing so, I would not see a problem with that, right? And the great thing about LinkedIn too is that because it's this platform that is being completely reshaped and just taking on a new form, I don't really think there are rules. And I think a lot of times why people get stuck is because they're trying to figure out, is this appropriate for a professional environment? And the thing is, we're in the business of people.
We're all people.
CEO is on Facebook. Like, I don't know why we do this. Of like, we have a conversation on Facebook with the same people, and then we move to LinkedIn and we turn into someone else. And I was in a private happy hour with it's so ridiculous, these names, but they're called LinkedIn Sales Star. So it's 36 of us who have been highlighted. And so we had like a private Zoom event last night and we were all talking and we were like, you know what? The reason why we're recognized as the sales stars is because we are the weirdos who are doing all the things that we're not supposed to be doing on LinkedIn and we're getting attention for it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's whatever you like. If you're in business and you're having conversations with people, and if how you behave is appropriate for how you interact with your client, just amplify it and move it to LinkedIn. The challenge is what a lot of people are doing is if I went to lunch with them, they would be super cool. We'd have a great conversation. But if I went to their LinkedIn, I'm like, who is that person? Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's the real challenge. So I guess that's my way, Meg, of saying, if it's how you would interact, if it's how your client or customers see value from you, then by all means, you can do that on LinkedIn.
Be authentic, like you had said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think manipulative one-way conversations of cheesy things that no one finds valuable. Like, if it doesn't work anywhere else, then don't do that on LinkedIn either. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
So if somebody is currently job seeking, is it still a platform that you use as somebody looking for a job or, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. There have been some amazing threads that I've been on, like from a huge part of my network are sales professionals, and there are a lot of them who are also being let go. So a lot of the sales influencers, what we did is identified, if you're hiring, please post. And now there's this like gigantic thread of people coming together, and there's a huge spreadsheet saying like these are all the companies that are hiring right now to help job seekers. So it's a great place because your I forget what you call them now, like your HR specialists are on there, your VPs who are hiring who are on there. So most of the best roles that I've ever had in corporate America were roles that I got because I knew someone, right? It was kind of like, hey, you know, those are the best roles because you have a relationship, just like everything else in life. So one, if you're looking for a job, what you can do instead of so here's the tip. So if I were to go on Indeed, I don't know why that pulled up in my head. If I were to go into Indeed and I saw these companies are hiring and I put in an application, I would one up it. And then I would go to LinkedIn. I would identify who's the VP or the director of what I'm applying for. I would connect with that individual and reach out and build relationships, right? So it's a great way to kind of stack the deck in your favor. And then the thing is with human psychology and behavior is that proximity is power. When someone feels like they're in your network or you've built rapport with them, it's just like, as they say, favor isn't fair. Like there's nothing that's fair, right? So the way that you stack the deck in your favor is to build relationships with people. And that's a great way for job seekers as well.
That's really great advice.
And it helps too, just to like be able to put a face to a name too, you know, that they can see that you're a nice person with a smile. And I mean, there's a psychology behind that, right? When is it appropriate? Because I've used LinkedIn, I don't know, for several years now.
Yeah.
When I had my corporate career, especially. But when is it appropriate to pay for a subscription? Because I've never paid for it. Yeah.
So on the Sales Navigator side, so there's Premier, which might be more for like job hunters. I can't say I'm a master in that at all, so I can't speak to that very well. On the Sales Navigator side, I pay for that monthly. And so typically for a client, I advise them it's worth paying if you're really going to use it to grow your business. So if you're going to be intentional, if you're going to be on there every week, reaching out to new people, having conversations, and really use it as a business development tool, then absolutely. Where are we on time? Okay, I'm not going to even have enough time to hit that. So I'll just say, like, if you're really looking at how to grow your business, you're actively building relationships, actively doing business development, or Jen knows I always say your IPAs, right? IPA before E, except after C, which is income producing activities. Like, it's every day I'm focused on how am I moving the needle for my business? What activities am I taking every day that are helping to create opportunities for revenue growth in my business? So if you're disciplined about that, it's definitely worth it. You get the first month free, and then it turns into, if you're just one person who's going to use it, then it's $79 a month after that. So I tell people, if there's a month that you think you're going to be serious and you want to try it out, do that first month for free to see if it's worth it. If you don't really use it, then you can cancel it before the second month so that you don't have to pay. But to answer your question, like, if you're serious about growing your business, which most, like for my clients, digital agency owners, consultants, freelancers, B2B service-based businesses that are like constantly having to build relationships, it's worth it for them, I would say. But there's a lot of ways that you can use it for free. Like, it doesn't cost anything to post content. There's some basic filters that you can get, excuse me, for free. So like if you want to get your feet wet and you just have like basic filters. And when I say filters, I mean like, I'm trying to identify people in Texas who are like my second degree connections. Like, there's some basic things you can do for free.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in sales myself, and I've built out pretty much, pretty complex org charts just using my free LinkedIn access. And and so you could do the same as a job searcher too, a job hunter. You can do the same as, identifying somebody that you could connect with within a company that you're interested in targeting.
Absolutely.
So we are running just a little bit short on time, but Liz, how has your business shifted in this, or has it shifted? How have you had to change?
Yeah, so I've run a digital business for 5 years. My business has always been focused on digital transformation. So we homeschooled our kids for 2 years. I mean, we were the weirdos who were living like this before quarantine. Does that make sense? I acknowledge I have a lot of privilege right now, and I'm very blessed. As far as pivot, I've not had to pivot my services because of what we do. More than anything, I've just been more cognizant of my messaging and been. I'm an empath. I've always kind of just been a heart-centered person, but just making sure I'm checking on people, being even more intentional, being more encouraging, just holding the space for others. So that's really it. It's more the emotional, spiritual journey, but as far as a business thing, not much of a shift there.
That's good. And I think that you've given us some really great insight and great advice with LinkedIn, and hopefully people can get themselves started on there while they have a little bit of time. And Meg always has a question that she likes to ask her guests that I always.
Well, I always love to hear what's keeping people sane during this time. And because for me, it's these live streams and being able to connect with somebody, outside of my little ones, since I'm stuck at home with them all the time. But I like to hear that, but I also like to hear what's the positive that you're seeing in this lockdown, because I know my perspective has changed on a lot of things, and I just see so much good in the world right now. Obviously, it's a scary time and an uncertain time, but I also find that there's a lot of positive that we can take from this time too of quarantine. What are you seeing? What are you feeling?
Yeah. What keeps me sane is my faith and surrender. So the two most important relationships to me are my relationship with God and my relationship with myself. So I am my best friend. Like, me and this chick right here, we get along real well. So I spend a lot of time managing me, talking to myself, checking in with myself, seeing how I'm doing. And so that way it's kind of like, if I'm good, then it helps me to filter from what's happening in the world. And so for the good, yeah, just I'm someone who does gratitude journals. Jen, I think you do that as well. So Meg, you might as well. So every day outside of quarantine, I'm focused on what I'm grateful for. And in every day I can find something to be grateful for. So that's kind of what keeps me going. I'll be honest too. A last thing is that I've hit rock bottom before. Like, so how do I say this in a sensitive way? Just from my past experience, I had some traumatic situations in my past. And so I know what it's like to be at rock bottom. And I know that even in rock bottom, I've been kept and I've had things that have blessed me. So I feel like if you're going through hell, keep going.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Great word. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Meg.
No, well, just thank you for coming on and for all of your helpful tips with LinkedIn. I love your insights. So thank you so much. You've been a really great resource.
Thank you guys for having me. It's an honor for you guys to bring me onto your platform. And it's beautiful that you guys are showing your smiling faces and giving people resources at this time. So thank you for your initiative and for your heart for doing this.
Thank you. Where can people find you if they wanted to reach out to you with Stimulus or just for LinkedIn advice?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Liz J. Simpson. So that's the best place to find me. Just look up Liz J. Simpson on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to connect.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Liz. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week.
All right. You got your Beyonce fan in the background. I'm mad because my hair is not blowing in the wind.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm in a closet. I have to have a fan. It's hot.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
That was great. All right. You ready to get on LinkedIn?
Yes, I'm intimidated now to have her look at my profile because it needs a lot of work. So maybe she can give me some pointers.
There's actually a site that you can go to. I wish that you would have said that, because there's a site you can go to and see where you stand on LinkedIn. You get a score. It's I'll look it up and I'll post it for you, because Mine's very low. It's like 27% or something. But basically, LinkedIn will tell you, like, if you're doing well with networking, if you're doing well with like a robust, what is it called, profile or anything like that. So you don't even need Liz. LinkedIn will tell you how you're doing, and then you'll have to just get some advice.
No,
But
that was helpful for me because it's something that I haven't really thought about too much for our business and putting our business out there. And I really haven't been too active on there since I left my corporate job. I used it quite a bit. My corporate job, like I said, I had built out a lot of org charts to be able to target the right people and promote our business. But yeah, so something to think about for Premier One, and also too just to connect with more people in the community, which is super important for everybody.
Yes, definitely. So we are done for this week. Next week we have a mortgage broker coming on who will actually be the first man that we have on our show, which I'm kind of excited about that. And then the rest of the week we are still building out. So if you have a local business or a resource, if you feel that you could provide some resources for our community, we would love to have you on and speak with you.
Yeah, just shoot us a message. We're happy to highlight any local business.
Yeah. All right, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.